All right, hello there, welcome back to another wee bit different video. Today's video, we have a pretty straightforward, cut and dry video. The Sacramento Kings messed up pretty freaking bad by trading Tyrese Haliburton, and not just trading Tyrese, but going back in the time machine, seeing what happened with the whole Tyrese on the Kings thing. Why did they trade Tyrese to begin with? The Kings decided to part ways with Tyrese Haliburton, instead hitching their wagon to De'Aaron Fox and starting a new chapter with Domantas Sabonis. What was the trade looking like? It was Tyrese Haliburton to Indiana in exchange for Sabonis, Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a draft pick. A lot of people said win-win. This is definitely a win-win. Kings get better now. Pacers can build towards a future because Sabonis was never going to be the answer. And when the Kings made the playoffs, people were still hyped like the beam. Everyone was going crazy. So even though the Pacers had success last season, people would still say win-win. The biggest problem is this decision was made with the backing of De'Aaron Fox as the future player. And boom, you trade De'Aaron Fox this season. Now, before we even get to the De'Aaron Fox trade, Haliburton spent 1.5 seasons with the Kings. Very promising player. Rookie season, 13 points per game, 5.3 assists. Takes a leap in the second season, 14.3 points per game, 7.4 assists. Rebound goes up almost by 1 entirely. Shooting percentage goes up in terms of the 3. So you're looking at a player who's just gotten outright better. Also, you looked at a player who said right before he got traded that he wanted to turn this Kings franchise around. He said that, and everyone prior to the trade was like, damn, this is a real one. This Tyrese Haliburton guy, he's a tough kid. He wants to turn this franchise around. They trade him. Oh, whoa, what happened there?
You have a guy in Tyrese who falls to you. He falls in your lap. A bunch of teams should have drafted him.
From the guy.
Could have used him. And he wanted to be there. He wanted to be part of the turnaround. And they traded him. And I just don't get that logic. And I saw a stat earlier today. It's like 21-year-old guards that average, and there's, or have averaged over 14 a game, over 7 assists a game, and over 40% from three. It's Tyrese. Ever.
What?
There's one.
There's one. And I would also say, and I'm curious what you think about this. Woj talked about this an hour or two after the trade happened, and we just, not even from Tyrese, we just know this from other people around the league. Tyrese's value around the league is about as high as it gets, with everybody from owners and GMs and other players on down across the board. And basically, I think the word Woj used was stunned, but it was very clear that a lot of teams, if they had known that they could get him, they might have made – Sabonis is a great player. Sabonis is an all-star.
Right. But he's clearly his value because they got an all-star.
But the Kings clearly did not do diligence on who else they could have traded for, if they had decided to pull the trigger on trading Tyrese. And it just felt very Kings. It felt like they locked in on Sabonis. They offered Fox, and he said no. And so they're like, all right, well, the best thing we can offer is Tyrese. And so they did that, which doesn't feel that different from when they had the chance to draft Luka.
Kings gets a bonus. And then that leads me to 2025, was it? Is it January or around January where they traded Fox? I don't remember the exact date. However, San Antonio Spurs get De'Aaron Fox, Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings get Zach LaVine, City Sissoko, 2025 first round pick via Hornets, and I'm gonna get more into that soon. 2027 first round pick via Spurs, 2031 first round pick via Timberwolves, and 3 second rounders. The Bulls get Zach Collins, Trey Jones, Kevin Huerter, and they get their own first round pick back so that they're allowed to tank. Pretty damn good deal for the Bulls in all of this. Anyway, you see this and you're thinking, damn, they got a high pick this year. Wrong. I believe it's top 10 or top 5 protected. Whatever the case may be, they aren't getting the Hornets first round pick. So it's going to turn into, looking at the Sacramento Kings draft assets, it turns into 3 second-round picks, or two second-round picks. Next year, they get a 2026 unprotected second-round pick, and then a 2027 unprotected second-round pick. So they did not get 3 first-round picks, and they knew they weren't going to. This was not going to get translated or converted, I should say, to a first-round pick. It was always going to be 2 second-rounders. So there you have it. Pretty straightforward. Also, if you're seeing me look at my right side, the Angels are playing. They are my favorite baseball team. So, I'm tuning in while recording. Anyway, they knew they weren't going to get the Hornets first round pick, which leads them to getting 2 first round picks from the Spurs and the Timberwolves. Now, here's the problem. 2027, which is not even this upcoming draft or the next one, obviously, the Spurs will be competing contenders, no doubt about it. I mean, you take a look at the Spurs roster after you also give them De'Aaron Fox. The Spurs have the second pick this year. They have obviously Wembanyama. They have a ton of draft capital. They have a ton of assets and players. Anyway, point being, 2027, these Spurs will be a good team. You're looking at a pick that's probably 25 or later in the first round, so not that crazy. 2031, you get the Timberwolves pick. Now, that's a long time from now, and who knows, maybe Anthony Edwards isn't part of the Timberwolves organization. A lot can happen 6 years down the line, and I mean a lot. So for all we know, the Timberwolves can suck in 2031. Nobody knows. I don't know. You guys don't know. Anthony Edwards would be 29 at the time. Maybe, because this happens a lot, maybe he goes to another team. He seems like someone who wants to stay in Minnesota, but how many times do we say that about a player and the player leaves because they want to get traded to a better situation because their team doesn't take care of them? I mean, think about it. No one said, De'Aaron Fox is going to leave. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox isn't as good as Anthony Edwards, but you get my point. Players leave. Players get traded. It happens. It's inevitable in the NBA. The question is, will it happen to Anthony Edwards? Nobody knows, like I said. So, ultimately, they got one really wild card pick in 2031. 2027 is not going to be a good pick. Spurs will be contending in 2027. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. The only exception to that is if players get hurt. That's it. But assuming they stay healthy, that's it. So in all of that, where does that leave the Kings roster? The roster is obviously just not a competitive roster. Looking at the players, still got a guy like Keon Ellis, Malik Monk, Zach LaVine. Not a great roster. Keegan Murray, DeMar, DeMontis. In my opinion, 2 of those 3 guys got to get traded between DeMar, Zach, and Domantas Sabonis. You just got to get assets back. Obviously, you'd like to get, if you're a Kings fan, in my opinion, all 3 traded. Just because you want to rebuild. I don't see the point in having all 3 of them there. Sorry, it's getting heated in this Angels game. Anyway, my point being, you got to move on. You got to completely rebuild, look towards a new future. Looking at this specific draft, I don't even think the Kings have a pick, if I'm being honest with you. NBA draft order 2025. Let's take a look at it. I don't think the Kings have a pick. Am I tripping here? No. The Hawks have the Kings pick, so they don't even have a pick. Kings got to reset. They got to get young players in the building. That's what it is. And you look at what Tyrese is doing now. I mean, come on, man. Ultimate fumble beyond belief. Tyrese Haliburton is in the finals. De'Aaron Fox, who was supposed to be your future, which is why you got Sabonis, is on the Spurs. Horrible trade. Horrible trade. I guess you could also say horrible management too. Because, I mean, it's one thing if you kept De'Aaron Fox, but like I said, he's gone too. So that just amplifies the trade itself. But yeah, I would say horrible management plays a huge factor into this. Pretty quick video for you guys today. But since Tyrese Haliburton is in the finals, I thought I'd just highlight his origins. He was on the Kings. A lot of you guys already know that. Some of you maybe newer to the NBA and you're like, whoa, he was on the Kings? When did that happen? Yeah, Kings totally fumbled that. I showed you guys the trades, and here we are today. We'll see if Tyrese can pull it out. I don't think they will. If you guys saw my prediction video, you know I'm leaning towards Thunder, and I'm saying strongly leaning towards Thunder because I picked Thunder in 5. However, I greatly appreciate you guys for watching. Feel free to like, subscribe. It's a long way to help with the channel. This is I'll Even Different. I'll Even Different. And we out.